Legends of the Hidden Temple was a game show from the 1990s that went on to become a cult classic because of its original theme. The original show has an adventure feel to it. It starts with 6 teams of kids, always one boy and one girl, who race each other across a moat. The 2 losing teams are removed, and then it's down to 4 teams who have to answer multiple choice questions on the Steps of Knowledge. Then 2 more teams are removed, and it switches to physical challenges for the 2 remaining teams. Once the winning team is decided, it moves on to the best possible climax a show like this could ever have: the Temple Run. The team decides which kid will go first, and then the real fun begins. The Temple Run is basically an adventure in itself, or in some ways, a live-action video game. NES-style, almost chiptune-esque music plays in the background while a clock counts down, and a map keeps track of where the kid is, while the kid has to travel from room to room, solving puzzles both mental and physical, and trying to reach a treasure. The kid gets caught by a randomly placed temple guard. The kid gives up what's called a pendant of life and gets to keep going, unless they're out of pendants. If they are, the other kid takes over and gets to try. The Temple Run is brilliant, and most fans of the show talk about it as the defining feature. It's essentially an obstacle course with a temple theme in a video game-esque presentation. I'd love to see an entire show based around the concept, though I realize it'd be very hard to pull off. Behind-the-scenes interviews have revealed that simply keeping the temple they had working correctly was a real problem. And now, more than 2 decades after the original game show, Nickelodeon randomly decided to make a movie about it. Why? Is the show popular today? I don't even think it's that much of an internet meme. But either way, now Nickelodeon gave us a made-for-TV movie, Legends of the Hidden Temple. Of course, the first question is, how do you turn a game show into a movie that has to tell a story? The answer in this case is mostly obvious. The game show was adventure-themed, so naturally you make the movie an adventure about what happened in the show. The next question, of course, is how do you do that? The answer is what's pretty fun about the movie. The premise here is that the Hidden Temple TV show is fiction about reality, so that the temple is real, and so are the temple guards and everything else. 2 brothers and a sister from the United States are visiting the real-life temple with their family on a tour hosted by Kirk Fogg, the original host of the TV show, when they sneak inside. And the legends are real. All of them. Olmec, the giant talking stone head who co-hosted the TV show, he's actually once a great ruler of a great civilization, but the pendants of life were stolen, civilization has to be saved, you know, that kind of stuff.
You must retrieve the pendant of life from the temple and place it where my heart once was.
What follows is basically the show's Temple Run segment turned into an entire movie. To put it another way, the movie is essentially one big obstacle course. Many of the rooms from the game show are locations in the movie. Many of the obstacles themselves, like poison arrows being shot out of walls, are not from the show. Even if the rooms have been reimagined, the concept is still basically the kids moving from room to room, navigating obstacles. The most famous, or maybe I should say only, enemy in the show were the temple guards. Naturally, they make an appearance in the movie as well. Their nefarious goal is to steal the pendant of life from the kids, which is exactly what they did in the game show. In the show, the pendant of life was basically an extra life in video game parlance. In the movie, it's some magical artifact that can do something important that's somehow important to the story, blah blah blah. So of course the bad guys want it. And there's even a moat crossing, like in the game show. Except now, the temple guards are chasing the kids over a moat filled with blue barracudas. Yeah, I said blue barracudas. In the show, the 6 teams were named after an animal and color. Blue barracudas, green monkeys, orange iguanas, purple parrots, red jaguars, and silver snakes. And guess what? Actual animals with those colors appear in the movie. Some, like the red jaguar, are threatening, while others, like a green monkey or a purple parrot or orange iguana, just make a quick appearance and barely do anything. It's pretty silly, but the mood is generally adventurous, except for a few times when I think the mood takes some rather dumb turns. There's one scene which is just way too silly for my tastes. When the kids get stuck trying to put together the silver monkey, and a title card pops up saying 4 hours later. Am I supposed to believe that these kids were literally stuck in the silver monkey statue for a full 4 hours, never once decided to try a different route? The silver monkey has a pretty infamous reputation from fans of the show. Kids frequently have such a hard time putting it together that they run out of time, even though it looks simple to a lot of viewers. The movie, of course, stretches that joke out, but it's just too cartoonish for my taste. It really clashes with the rest of the feel of the movie. But that's not the only thing it clashes with the rest of the movie, because shortly afterwards, in the same scene no less, the movie foolishly attempts drama.
I miss Mom and Dad.
The kids have been away from their parents for about 5 or 6 hours in the story. Am I supposed to believe that they became homesick that quickly? A school day is shorter than the time that they've spent in this temple so far. This attempt at drama seems to come out of nowhere and falls totally flat. And for that matter, on a more realistic note, do these kids ever have to eat? Because they never seem to go hungry. Except hours have passed in this story, so they must have gotten hungry for dinner or something. I really feel like the mood is at its best when it's just trying to be a fun adventure. Now my main question here is, who is this movie made for? The kids of today, who are unlikely to be familiar with the original show, because they won't get the jokes or references. They'll still be seeing a fun adventure, but they'll utterly miss what it's supposed to be based on. Much of the fun is seeing elements of the game show somehow incorporated into the story. There's tons of these elements everywhere you turn. Is it made for adults who know the original show? In other words, ones who outgrew Nickelodeon? If you're one of them, you might want to show your kids the original show either before or after this movie so they'll at least get the references. Otherwise, this is really just a standard adventure movie that's not great, but not too bad either. A fun nostalgia trip for adults wrapped around a story that's likely to be enjoyed much more by kids. As a movie, it's okay. There's better kid adventure films out there, but it's okay. And I'll leave it at that.